KURINJI Senior Secondary School, CBSE, Namakkal.
Successful result producing school in state every year.
Administered by the Board of Directors with over 35 years of experience in the teaching field.
Special attention on art, craft, music, dance, silambam, yoga, skating and karate.
Focus on Hindi Sabha and Spell Bee Olympiad exams.
Smart class for effective and innovative learning and well-furnished library.
Solitary importance on sports and games in state and national level.
WhatsApp facilities to know activities of students and school inside the campus.
Free bus for LKG to 8th standard.
Free, hygienic and nutritious food.
NEET, JEE, IIT coaching experts from Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh along with our effective teachers.
Admission registration for classes LKG to +2.
KURINJI Education Institution, Kavetipatti, Namakkal. Admission in progress. CBSE, KG to 12, contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12, contact 9344567484. For online admission, log on to www.kurinjischoolnkl.in.
Hi students, now in this video we are going to discuss regarding types of productivity. So here somewhat information I have given in previous videos. Now small information by covering of yesterday's video, so I am going to give. So now here the types of productivity point of view. So two types of now I have taken. One is primary productivity and one more is secondary productivity. By covering of all these things, now I am going to start, or I am going to give information regarding second component of ecosystem, that is decomposition. Okay, so in this particular case, or in this particular video, primary productivity, secondary productivity. Later in primary productivity, so two types are there, that is gross primary productivity and net primary productivity, each and every point. So let us learn. So come, let us have a look on this. Now types of productivity. Now types of productivity, two types are there. First one is primary productivity and second one secondary productivity. Now primary productivity point of view, the amount of biomass or organic matter produced per unit area over a time period by plants during photosynthesis. So means, so how much simple English I have used, in even non-biology students also can understand this one. What is the information I have written? The amount of biomass or organic matter. So that organic matter produced per unit area over a time period by plants. So by the process of photosynthesis, means here plants performs the process of photosynthesis. So when these plants performing the process of photosynthesis, there which one is going to be produced? The amount of biomass is going to be produced, or organic matter is produced per unit area over a time period, means one particular area only. So in the one particular area in particular period, means a particular duration also we are giving. Okay, so there in 2 hours in particular restricted area, how much of or what is the amount of biomass or what is the amount of organic matter is produced by the plants, okay, by the process of photosynthesis. That one we can be termed it as primary production. A point you understood or not? Primary production is nothing but just a simply, so this point you try to remember. What is that? No, plants performs the process of photosynthesis. So when this particular process of photosynthesis is going to be taken place, food materials is prepared. So that point we know very well, we have learned in first chapter or in +1 chapters. So there, what is the food material plants have been prepared? No, that food materials only. Now we have given another names. What are those? One is here we are calling as biomass, or another one we are calling as organic matter. But so what is a simple language we have used now? Food materials. So that food materials only we have given another name. So one is a biomass or organic matter. Now here the rate of primary production, we can be taken as primary productivity. Means here how much of food materials prepared by these phototrophs or autotrophs. So that particular rate, the rate of primary production, we will be calling as primary productivity. Don't get confused. Okay. Suppose these kind of questions or these kind of definitions if they ask, means So here directly, so by hotting, so by getting off by hotness, so we need to write down this. The rate of primary production is called primary productivity. Now the primary productivity depends on, sir, okay, plants performs the process of photosynthesis, sir, thereby food materials preparation taking place, so or organic matter or biomass production takes place, sir. But here what are the factors mainly facilitates or mainly helps to this production of primary biomass, sir? Means here what are the points we have to store in our mind, you know? You see that primary productivity depends on the plant species inhabiting a particular area. Okay, means so here the plant species, how many are there? What is the density of the plant species? Okay, so based on the density, suppose if the density is more, so primary productivity will be less or more? Will be more. Why? Because density is more now. So once you see there, when plant density is more, so definitely primary productivity will be, or rate of primary production will be more. Suppose plant's density is less, means there one plant and there here, means here if we are observing more distance between the plants, no, at the time the rate of primary production will be very less. Are you getting this point? So now what is the point now I am going to give you? That is primary productivity depends on the plant species inhabiting a particular area. Okay, means not only that particular point, it also depends on a variety of environmental factors. So variety of environmental factors also plays an important role in production of primary productivity or in production of which biomass or organic matter. Once you see there, what are the environmental factors, sir? Means suppose all factors are there. So in this particular case, now try to remember photosynthesis factors. So what are the factors we have been discussed in process of photosynthesis? So those factors you try to remember now. So here there are different types of environmental factors, that is maybe light or the carbon dioxide or the temperature or the pH or oxygen or whatever it may be, that environmental factors. So definitely regulates so the primary production or the rate of biomass or organic matter production. Am I point you understood or not? Later, one more thing. Availability of nutrients also, means here internal factors are there as well as external factors are there. All we have given in optimum levels, but suppose here the availability of nutrients is not sufficient. Not sufficient, means here there definitely there deficiency is there or the scarcity of nutrients problem is there, means at the time we could not see the formation or the production of biomass or organic matter that much more. Means, so in this particular case, no, the rate of production of biomass or organic matter, it is mainly depends on the, what are those? So here depends on the species inhabiting, means here how many number of species present in that particular area, that is a main important point. And what are the environmental factors? So that is also regulates, and availability of nutrients regulates later. Now you see there, and photosynthetic capacity of that particular plants. Now here we have gathered or we have given or we have allotted or we have arranged different types of factors. Even we have produced or we have given nutrients, and we have arranged all kind of factors, so which are required to the plants at the time. Suppose after arrange, even though if you arrange all these different types of environmental factors favors to the plants, suppose if the plants not having capability to perform the process of photosynthesis, then what is the use of all these factors? So means suppose here finally if the plants only not having the capability to perform the process of photosynthesis, so here those plants cannot utilize all these arranged factors. What do you say? Suppose now only you have eaten, okay, or chicken biryani somewhat you have eaten there. After that again they are asking to eat, so same amount of food now they are giving to you and they are asking you to eat. Will you have that one at the time? So you will say I cannot. So means likewise, so means So likewise, so suppose if the plants are not having the capability to perform the process of photosynthesis, at the time, no, when the plant's capability is very less, at the time, even though if you arrange all these kind of favorable factors, so because of this presence of all these factors, no use. Point you understood or not? Likewise now, so this is a small information regarding primary production. Now here, this primary productivity, our convenience to study, we divided into two types. Okay, now you see there, primary productivity divided into gross productivity or gross primary productivity. Here primary missed, but through my voice you try to take so that is GPP. GPP is nothing but gross primary productivity. Primary is missed, I am saying, so try to remember. So gross primary productivity GPP, next one net primary productivity NPP. GPP, NPP, so these two, so GPP, NPP, these two are present, okay, or these two are comes under primary production or primary productivity. Okay, so next one, primary productivity. Now primary productivity point of view, total organic matter. Don't forget one important point. So when you are going to remember or when we are going to study gross primary productivity, definitely you have to remember total. If you forget the total, so entire information or entire definition will go as wrong. Now, so gross primary productivity point of view, total organic matter synthesized by the producers per unit area per unit of time. Okay, means so you forget the entire information regarding to the gross primary productivity, but one point you should not forget. What is the point I am asking to store in our mind means total organic matter synthesized by the producers per unit, so per unit area per unit of time. So you try to remember, but sir, chance is that to forget means no problem, you forget, but here you don't forget this one. Total organic matter synthesized by the producers or the plants or autotrophs in particular area at a particular time. Now it includes the weight of organic matter added in the plant body of the producers plus the amount of energy used up in respiration. So here what is the information they have given? It includes, means gross primary productivity includes the weight of organic matter, means the weight of organic matter or weight of biomass or the weight of food materials added, you see there, added in the body of the producers. Means suppose if the plant performing the process of photosynthesis since morning to till evening, so definitely organic matter is stored or organic matter is added in the body, isn't it? So thereby definitely the plant weight is increased. So here our the availability of the nutrients or the availability of organic matter is increased in the leaves. As biologists or as biology students, so we have to store this point in our mind. Means what is the point? Suppose like kira we will call leafy vegetables. So there, so as a biology students we need to refer our mummy to harvest the leafy vegetables only in the evening. Okay, morning we should not harvest. Why? Because do you know one thing? So here after completion of a photosynthesis process, so in evening only we will observe the more accumulation of organic matter or the biomass in the leaves of autotrophs. That's why definitely we have to harvest or we must harvest which one? Leafy vegetables in the evening. Why? So once you see there, why? Because you see there the weight of organic matter is added in the body of producers. Means so by the process of photosynthesis organic matter is accumulated or simple English is added in the body. So thereby, so when these organic matters are added in the body, at the time if you harvest and if you eat means you will be benefited. But suppose, sir, no sir, evening I will not harvest, so morning only I will harvest means except chlorophyll, except pigments, so nothing, no organic matter you can eat. Why? Because so during a night processes, so entire what are the organic matters present in the leaves, everything is distributed to the all parts of the plant. So at the time, no, nothing you will eat. So you will not be benefited with the organic matter. My point you understood or not? So try to understand if you have the capability to understand. So right. So organic matter added in the body produces plus the amount of energy used in the respiration. So means what is the energy? Means or the how much of energy is used for the respiratory activities. That is also we have to consider under the gross primary productivity. Why? Because here the amount of energy is used for the respiration process means, so what is the energy is used for the respiration process, that is also produced only now, that is also produced by the autotrophs or plants. So means, so some amount of organic matter is going to be synthesized and some amount of energy is utilized for the respiratory activities means. So what is the energy used for the respiratory activities? That particular energy also we must take under gross primary productivity. I hope you understood this explanation. Now let me move on to the next explanation, that is net primary productivity. Now there, total energy trapped by the producers is not completely stored in the body. Point you understood or not? One more time you see there, what is the point? So here total energy trapped by the producers means what is the energy stored in the plants. So simply you try to listen. So what is the energy is stored in the plants? So that is not completely stored in the plants or the plant body, sir, entirely. So definitely some amount of food material is prepared in the plants. No, why, sir? Each and every drop of the or each and every grain of starch, why it is not stored, sir? Means why? No, once you move up, so there respiration process also taking place. No, that's why what is happening. So there in a total amount of food materials, so some amount of food materials are useful for the, once you see the red spotlight, useful for respiratory activities. That is only I have written in next information. That is only. Now you see there the total energy trapped by the producers is not completely stored in the plant body. So some amount of food materials immediately used for or immediately used in metabolic activities known as respiration means some amount of food materials. So here the total amount of food materials are there some amount of food materials definitely needed for metabolic activities, that metabolic activities. So best example I have taken as respiration. Now this energy, the energy left after the respiration means in a total amount of food materials, so or in a total amount of biomass or organic matter after completion of respiratory activities, what is the energy is remaining? What is the energy is left? No, that particular stored energy or organic matter which is present in the producers, we will be considering as net primary productivity. So net primary productivity. So here one important point I would like to tell you that one. So here energy is left after the respiration means left means not throwing. Don't understand wrongly. So what is the point now I am going to tell you is, so what is the energy is stored in the plants as matter after completion of metabolic activities, for example respiration. So remaining food materials we can be considered as net primary productivity. Net primary productivity means after completion of all metabolic activities, so what is the amount of food materials stored in the plants? No, so that particular thing we will be considering as net primary productivity. So means here one point you have to understand, sir, if net primary productivity is there, no, this particular net primary productivity only is available for next tropical levels, sir, means yes. So means that point only now I am going to give you. Once you see there the availability of a biomass or the available of a biomass for the consumption of a heterotrophs. So simply what are the organisms depends on the autotrophs, all kind of organisms. So simply I have been taken as heterotrophs means, so here primary consumers or the secondary consumers or the tertiary consumers. So whatever may be the tropical level definitely initially depends on the where autotrophs, isn't it? So that's why here what is the point? The availability of biomass, or the available of which one? The available biomass for the consumption to heterotrophs. So that is this. What are the heterotrophs are there? Herbivores are there, decomposers are there, likewise. So there are different levels of, or different topical levels of organisms are there. So means what is the amount of biomass is available for all these kind of organisms. Such particular available biomass only simply we will be calling as net primary productivity. Okay, net primary productivity. Now means here what is the point? So here in comparison of GPP as well as NPP, so what is the productivity definitely helpful or definitely moving on to the next topic level? Only NPP. GPP will not move. Why? Because GPP minus are only no NPP. So that is only now I will give you. So once you see that, so once you see it exactly at spotlight, NPP is equal to GPP minus R, means here total organic matter is there in a GPP, gross primary productivity, but after respiratory activities, so now here final organic matter, now we will get now here that what is the organic matter is stored. So that particular thing we will be considering as NPP, or net primary productivity. So this particular net primary productivity only helpful, or that particular net primary productivity only moving on to the consumption, or moving to the heterotrophs. Heterotrophs comes under or under heterotrophs, herbivores are there, decomposers are there, or next trophic level of organisms are there. So means even human beings also means we will have leafy vegetables, so we will purchase at market. So at the time of there what is the amount or what is the biomass we will have, sir? Means 100% we will have NPP, but we cannot have GPP. Just we will have NPP. That NPP is nothing but net primary productivity. Now a few interesting important points I will give you. What is that? Now the annual NPP of the whole biosphere. One more time, the annual NPP of a whole biosphere is approximately this one, approximately 170 billion tons dry weight. Don't forget, NEET examination point of view important. Per annum, annually, per annum, NPP value is, so simply let me explain. Per annum, NPP value is, so in biosphere, in a whole entire biosphere, value is 170 billion tons dry weight. So organic matter in one year, no, NPP availability is 170 billion tons. So next one, the productivity of the oceans is only 55 billion tons. Means once you see there, in ocean, the productivity of the algal members or the chief producers of ocean. So what are the organisms are there now? All are together contributes only 55 billion tons. But once you see the total amount of organic matter in a biosphere is 170 billion tons. In 170 billion tons minus 55 million tons, minus if you take there, no, remaining entire organic matter comes under terrestrial. Why? Because oceans means aquatic only, no, in aquatic ecosystem. So 55 million tons of dry matter or organic matter is stored, but here remaining one. So in out of 170, 55 if you remove, no, remaining one, how much it will come, no, remaining thing, here 55 billions only. So I have written this one as millions, but you try to save this as billions. Okay, 55 billion tons of organic matter is stored in ocean. So thereby here what is the point now I am going to give you is 170 billion tons minus 55 billion tons. Okay, 170 billion tons minus 55 billion tons. So remaining how much of food materials or what is the quantity we will get? No, that one entire thing we can be considered under terrestrial. So means here one interesting point is there, that is even though oceans occupies 70% of the earth's surface. Even though oceans occupy 70% of earth's surface, just contributes 55 billion tons of organic matter. 55 billion tons of organic matter. Am I point you understood or not? So this particular point also need examination point of view important. So try to store this point in your mind. Now new concept, that is secondary productivity. Secondary productivity, the rate of formation of new organic matter at a consumer level. So here what is the point? Now try to understand carefully. So the rate of formation of new organic matter at consumer level. So here new organic matter is going to be synthesized or going to be prepared. Am I going to be prepared? How? Suppose for example, small chick you try to take. Okay, the daily grains or some kind of food materials you add to that chick. After a few days, definitely that becomes that will be bulged in its size, isn't it? So there in that particular chicken, definitely. So in earlier days, small chick we will find out there, but due to the supply of food grains, after a few months or within 2 or 3 months, that particular chick definitely becomes as or that gains the weight 2 or 3 kgs. Means here what was happened, sir, means because of the supply of food materials, because of the supply of new organic, because of the supply of food grains, new organic matter is synthesized, or the formation of new organic matter. So where at a consumer level, so the formation of new organic matter, everything we can be considered as secondary productivity. Secondary productivity. Next one, it is the amount of energy available at the consumer level. So it is energy, means suppose if you eat food materials, means so definitely by usage of that food materials, definitely energy will be available. Energy is available at consumer level. So that particular level, for the transfers to the next tropic level. Okay, suppose so here small chicken only you try to take, so it will eat grains. If you eat that particular chicken, you will get the energy. So likewise, so energy definitely that will be moving from the one tropic level to next tropic level. So secondary productivity, very very easy. What is that? The rate of the formation of new organic matter. The formation of new, here the new word is important, the formation of new organic matter at consumer level, we can be considered as secondary productivity. Now very very important concept, now we are moving on to that. So this one decomposition is secondary component of ecosystem. So our knowledge point of view, there are 4 different types of components are there. First one is productivity, we have seen now only, and the second one is decomposition, third one is energy flow, and fourth one is nutrients cycles. So there now we are moving on to the second component. That particular second component name is decomposition. Now decomposition point of view, first and very very important point, that is so this particular decomposition process is physico-chemical process. Decomposition process is physico-chemical process. There what is happening, sir, in a decomposition process means, once you see there, organic dead plant, organic dead plants remains such as leaves, bark, flowers, and dead remains of animals including fecal matter, together we can be considered as detritus. Means here in a decomposition process, where we can be seen means in a detritus. So here the dead organic matters or the detritus, leaves or the bark, flowers or animals concerned. So fecal matter together means here animals concerned fecal matter. Next one, plants concerned leaves, bark, flowers and different types of plant parts we will be considering as detritus. This particular detritus we will be considering as raw material. We are considering as raw material for decomposition. So raw material for decomposition. Don't forget this particular point. So detritus is a raw material. Detritus is raw material for decomposition. Don't forget. Now decomposition, sir. First decomposition means what, sir? Means once you see there, decomposition is nothing but the process of breakdown of detritus. Emma, one more time you see there, the process of breakdown of detritus. Detritus organic matter into inorganic substances like carbon dioxide, water and nutrients. So simply, so one point I am asking to remember, that is decomposition is nothing but breakdown of detritus with the help of decomposers. So it's simple point you try to remember. What is the decomposition process is nothing but breakdown of detritus with the help of decomposers is referred as decomposition. So when this particular detritus is going to be break down into many parts, sir, what are the components of formation takes place, sir? Means don't forget inorganic substances. Means here in a detritus organic matter will be there. This particular organic matter is divided into inorganic substances like carbon dioxide, water and nutrients. So that entire process takes place with the help of organisms. So see it exactly at spotlight. So this particular process, decomposition process, takes place with the help of organisms. Means what are the organisms involved in the decomposition process? So such kind of organisms simply we will be considering as decomposers. Decomposers, very important point to try to save in your mind. Now, so important steps of decomposition. So here, so when school will be reopened, definitely these particular 5 steps, all people definitely I'll ask. So definitely I'll ask you people. So while watching this video only, try to by heart these 5 statements or 5 steps. Okay, now first one is fragmentation, second one is leaching, catabolism, humidification, and last one is mineralization. One more time, try to say along with me. First one is fragmentation, second one is leaching, third one catabolism, fourth one humidification, and fifth one mineralization. Try to say along with me now one more time. First one fragmentation, leaching, catabolism, humidification, mineralization. Okay, now let us learn one by one. Now first one, fragmentation. Fragmentation is nothing but breakdown. The word itself, once you see there, once you look on this, fragmentation. So as biology students we can understand. So fragmentation is nothing but breakdown. Now which one we are using here? Detritus. So thereby breakdown of detritus into small particles. Fragmentation. Next one, so while watching this video, so try to maintain a textbook in front of you. So definitely, so these particular steps are important. Next one, second step is leaching. So there, water soluble inorganic detritus. Water soluble inorganic detritus go down into the deeper layers of the soil and get precipitated as unavailable salts. Try to say along with me. So water soluble inorganic substances or inorganic nutrients are there. These all water soluble inorganic nutrients not present above the level of soil, that is go down into the deeper layers of the soil. When all these inorganic nutrients are moving on to the deeper layers of the soil, there by going down and get precipitated as unavailable salts. Okay, so that particular information we will be studying under leaching. Next one, third one point of view, catabolism. So there in catabolism, now same point like fragmentation information madhurida, same we will study. So that is catabolism is nothing but degradation. So here breakdown we have used. Now here degradation we are using, but brings or carries same meaning, but difference also is there. Now I will give that difference. Now catabolism, degradation of detritus into simple soluble organic and inorganic substances. Once you see there, degradation of detritus. Detritus means dried particles of leaf, bark, flowers and animals concerned, fecal matter, everything we have been taken now. That one only is going to be degraded. Degradation of detritus into how? Simple soluble organic as well as inorganic substances due to the enzymes activity. So here in catabolism, enzymes activity is essential to remember. Okay, so due to the activity of enzymes secreted by the decomposers, here decomposers, sir, what are the examples of decomposers? Means best example I have written, one is a bacteria and one more is fungi. Now here enzymes which are secreted by the activity of a bacteria and a fungi definitely degrades the detritus into small soluble organic matter as well as inorganic. This particular information we have to store in our mind as catabolism. So catabolism is nothing but degradation of detritus into the small soluble organic as well as inorganic substances due to the enzymes activity of bacteria as well as fungal members. So here these bacteria and fungal members definitely we will be considering as decomposers. So this particular entire information comes under catabolism. So this is the explanation, but so one important point I would like to give you, my dear students. So what is the problem you are facing while watching the video? That is simply you are switching just watching the video, but you are not seeing that what is the quality of that particular video. Suppose what is the information we have written on the board. Suppose if you are unable to get or if you are unable to understand, at the time what you have to do is, so try to increase the quality of your video. Okay, suppose if you take in 144 or in 240 quality, no, you cannot get anything, isn't it? So even though we are using 4K cameras, no, so by writing this much of information, that may not give that much of clarity to you. So now solution I am giving. What is the solution you have to follow? While watching this video, go to the settings and in front of you, on the screen, you will find quality option. So there highest quality you try to put at the time. So what is the quality if you need it? That much of quality you can enjoy while watching this video. Okay, so try to follow that one. So here, even though suppose if you are getting any kind of doubts in learning of these particular chapters, no worry. So in presence of you in smart classes, we will explain this entire concept by one more time, but you try to learn. Okay.